from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Mark, outside of about a minute's worth of play in that first period, is that the kind of game that despite the fact you lose it, you take a look at it and come away thinking you did mostly everything right in that game?
Yeah, I think our defensive zone was better. We didn't let them, pass those 2 goals. I think, our defensive zone was a little more intact. We were, playing together a little more support. Still a lot of things we gotta do a little better. We gotta, start making some passes and start with those little fine details of the game. And that's got to be our starting point.
We'll go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weber.
Mark, I know your team performance is always first, but what stood out for you during this point streak for you personally?
Playing with good players, just try to play the right way the whole time. And, if you play the right way, you'll get rewarded. And, that's kind of the biggest thing.
We'll go back to Ken Weeb. Go ahead, Weber.
Mark, with 11 power plays combined, I mean, how challenging is that to get into the flow of the game, at least at 5-on-5?
Yeah, it was really hard. There wasn't a whole lot of rhythm to the game. You felt like you never, whether it was a TV timeout coming up after, a few good shifts or a little bit of flow, it just got totally killed by the penalties. And, it sucks. You gotta deal with that adversity and be better for it. But it definitely was tough to get in the flow of things today.
I'll go back to Weber. Go ahead, Weeb.
I know you would have preferred it to come against someone else, but what's it like to see Connor get his 500th point, knowing him and your relationship with him?
Yeah, it's obviously awesome for him. He's to do it in that amount of games. Doing it the same day as Sid is pretty special, obviously. So, definitely, big congrats to him. Wish it would have came on a loss. But obviously it's a special moment, something that, I'm sure he's, very happy about. And, it's a special player, achieving something very special.
Thanks very much, Mark.
Thanks, Gregor.
Hey, Paul, what did you think of your third period when you're down by 2 going in?
It was good. It was just a weird game. It was just, I don't know. For me, it was like a lot of the flow wasn't there. It was like, it seemed like a power play one way, power play the other way, 1 5-on-5 shit, TV timeout, lots of whistles, so it's like, it goes both ways, right? So like at times it's like we had the momentum and all of a sudden TV timeout. At times they had momentum, then TV timeout. It was one of those all night, lots of whistles, lots of face-offs. And, we battled back there. And then, I think tonight it's more on us on the power play, not we converted once, but we got to have more possession, more chances than we did, and you look at their power play, they scored once, but, they put a lot of pressure and all of a sudden that, tires guys out like Laos and Copper and Louis and Apps and our decor. So, sometimes it's the little things inside the game that make the difference.
And we'll go next to Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Paul, no doubt you guys were able to push in that third period and put the pressure on. Is there something that you saw maybe that was missing from your team that push didn't translate into the tying goal tonight?
No, I just think it was like a slow start. A couple of nice goals there. We're down 2-0 off the bat. That we turned it around, and then, like I said, I think Bucky kept us in it. We had some looks, but not good. They do a good job of kind of like taking out of the net. So we had a couple of screenshots, but in the end, I think it was just we were off sync a little bit. Where we weren't playing together as kind of a 5-man unit or a 6-man unit or whatever it was. Whoever was on the ice. That's what it felt like.
We'll go next to Ted Wyman from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Ted.
Hey, Paul, this morning Andrew Kopp was talking about the key to stopping McDavid and Draisaitl, et cetera, was to have puck possession. It seemed like you really did that. The first 3 minutes, you guys were in their zone completely, like all going according to plan, but then they get it on their stick for 1 second and it's in. How difficult does that make it?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you're going to give up chances. You can only, I think, good players like that, elite superstars are, sometimes all they need is one chance to kind of get a goal. And you want to do that, but at the same time, you want to be smart with it, and then all of a sudden I thought a little bit, once we're down, we're trying to force teammate plays in neutral zone. And I think that's what that kills the flow a little bit because they had good sticks. They try to bat those out and kind of feed their transition game. And then I thought Smith did a good job of almost stop, every dump. It seemed like Smith, got his body or stick on it. And, even if we got high off the glass, I thought he did a really good job of that. And that kind of killed our forecheck a little bit, and that kind of took momentum away.
We'll go next to Ken Wiebe from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weber.
Paul, you're obviously familiar with him from your last time here, but what stood out about Mark Scheifele's play here during this 8-game point streak?
I don't know. I think not that. I mean, he plays that consistent game every night. I think whether he's out there with top line or whether we play 11 forwards and he's out there with the fourth unit, like he doesn't change his game. He hunts the puck. He's after the puck and wants the puck all the time. And when you're playing well like that, you're creating chances, you're creating turnovers, and the puck seems to find you. But I think just kind of playing that half on the power play, I think he feels a lot more. It helps that build that confidence. Early in the game when we do get a power play, if we score, if we don't score, and from there he kind of takes those touches. He's feeling good about his game, and I think he just continues it throughout the rest of the game.
Thanks very much, Paul.
Hey, Paul, did you think you got enough pucks to the net tonight to allow for those second and third opportunities?
Yeah, we got a lot blocked, which was a bigger factor, I thought, and a lot of shot attempts. We had some pretty good scrums.
We'll go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Paul, after those first 3 minutes or so, if you had told me one team was going to score 2 quick goals, I would have assumed it was you guys because you were carrying the play. Was that just a couple of quick lapses on your guys' part?
Well, I mean, I felt the same way. We came out right on, stumbled on one, and then we didn't miss a check. The guy knew he had him, but he just couldn't catch him. And that's the dangerous part of the Edmonton Oilers. They can get some breaks and beat you like that. But you're down 2-0. You can't sit here and say you liked your start. Those are 2 pretty big gaffes. But I did. I liked the way we came out to play. And we went 60 minutes and gave up 14 even strength shots. Much happier with what we gave up tonight. And you walk off the bench in a bad mood every time you lose a game. But I think it wasn't a missed opportunity. We played hard. They played hard. Their goalie was good. Our goalie was good. The flow of the game was tough to get a handle on, but I thought we were trying to grind through it. So we won't spend too much emotional energy on that one.
We'll go next to Scott Billick from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, Paul, with the caveat that you're chasing the game in the third, your defense really seemed to kind of activate a lot of puck movement from them. It happened throughout the game, but I'm just wondering, how do you kind of bottle that to kind of keep that going, going forward here?
Well, there's a challenge with Edmonton in that, because in just about every single time that we pinched, they had 2 forwards leaving the zone. I mean, it looks good in the third. We've got a way different risk profile. Their just doesn't really change in their game. So you do have to be careful with it. You got to be right on it. We like our D very aggressive. We like them down the wall. It's not something that most of those guys came into the league doing, right? It's not Buff going down the wall and not coming back. It's so we liked it. We liked that we were more aggressive. We were more aggressive, in tonight than we were in the last game. And I think that was a big part of what we gave up 5-on-5. We didn't give up a whole heck of a lot. But our D were very aggressive in the third, and our forwards did a good job filling on the pucks that they couldn't keep alive.
We'll go next to Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Sean.
Hey, Paul. Both Mark and Paul Stastny had mentioned that it just seemed like that game had no flow. It was broken up by the TV timeouts and all the penalties and everything like that. I'm wondering, did you sense frustration from that on the bench from the read that you had tonight? And are they right in the flow being broken up?
Yeah, but I think that's one of those ones that was true. We're on the power play early, and they're on the power play pretty consistently after that. And it was that kind of game. It was a choppy game. The whistles came at funny times. The timeouts came where you couldn't get a whole lot of rhythm into the game. But I didn't think it affected us necessarily more than them.
We'll go next to Ken Weeb from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weber.
Paul, we talked going into the year about Mark Scheifele kind of embracing the spotlight in the North Division. How would you assess his play, maybe specifically during this 8-game point streak here?
I think one of the things that Mark's tried to do is battle quite a bit harder defensively. And I think when he does that, everything else kind of comes together for him, right? The pace, the hands, the plays that he can make. I think that it may even be a driver for him. So I think he's run with different wingers. So it's been a new experience. Sometimes when you break the routine of the same guys, you kind of rediscover your own game a little bit. I think he's kind of gotten to the next level with that.
Thanks very much, Coach.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.